Looks like it's time for another Rob Zombie horror movie review. Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality who has found himself typecast into a specific genre that he can't seem to expand out of anymore. On that note, it's time to look at another horror movie from the mind of Rob Zombie. 3 from Hell. Released just last year in 2019, 3 from Hell is the third movie in the House of a Thousand Corpses, trilogy now, I guess, coming 14 years after the highly acclaimed 2005 movie, The Devil's Rejects. The Devil's Rejects, of course, being possibly Rob Zombie's highest-rated movie, and for a pretty good reason. It took the MVPs of House of a Thousand Corpses and let them loose on the world to see what happens. And what happens is a trail of destruction, ending in a police barricade where they are all horribly killed. Or were they? Obviously, that very conclusive ending was the first thing that had to go if we were ever going to see a sequel, so forget about all the Devil's Rejects being turned into Swiss hamburger puree. They're fine. That means we can finally get our sequel, set 10 years after the events of the last movie, where they are set loose in the world and we see what happens. I mean, obviously things are different this time around. That time did affect these characters and the actors, and it all came together to make this movie. So, let's take a look at 3 from Hell. And get the YouTube algorithm to finally like me again. We open up to the ending of the last movie where the Devil's Rejects are brutally gunned down by police. Though not a Freebird this time. I guess Leonard Skinner's licensing fees are the real horror. But with such a definitive end, how did they survive?
Doctors say chances for survival are less than 1,000,000 to 1.
Ah, so they survived. Maybe they got shot up so damn bad it ripped a hole in space-time and they got patched up by Romulans or some shit, I don't know. By the power of plot armor, every single one of them survive and end up going to trial. However, there's a lot more public support for this family of sadistic serial killers than you might have initially anticipated.
They know that Captain Spaulding is the man, and they know that he knows what this country needs, you dig?
The massacres or the fried chicken? And Spaulding's got his knives in a lot of pies, is all I'm saying.
Baby, oh man, she's got it going on, you know? I mean, I like the way that she moves, it's like she's floating.
And of course, Baby has the support of all the people who want a piece of that ass. But what kind of support does Otis have?
I mean, I think Otis is sexy. You know, I mean, I know he's a bad man, and he's done some bad things, but, like, I date him.
Oh, people also want to fuck him. Okay, that just makes me wonder, why the hell doesn't anyone want to fuck Spaulding?
He's a geriatric corpse with one boot in the grave and the other dancing around the edge.
I mean, I know Sid Haig wasn't in the best of health during filming, and indeed passed away 5 days after this movie came out, but come on, it's a movie! Give the guy some groupies! Despite the fans, the Devil's Rejects are all convicted and face everything from over 30 consecutive life sentences to the death penalty, and even worse, having to sit on death row while giving interviews to every jagoff who comes through the door and says they're making a documentary about killers or clowns or some sort of movie review special for a month of March or some shit.
I'm your bozo Jesus hung out to dry for the sins of mankind. Oh, fuck. All hail the man behind the grease paint.
And despite his health, the man still gave an admirable performance. I mean, he had to. This is really the only scene he got in this whole damn movie.
Early this morning, Captain Spaulding, the killer clown, was executed by lethal injection.
At a smooth 5 minutes in, I understand Rob Zombie was in a bit of a bind. The health of the man did mean he really couldn't do the role that Rob originally wrote for him, but this is an interesting way of figuring out how to use him for your movie. Don't. There is one more of the illustrious Devil's Rejects who also have been put on death row, though. Otis, played by Bill Moseley. Time in prison has been much the same for him, with the occasional interview to spew some character-establishing dialogue.
I am Satan's destroyer. I am the eternal flame of salvation burning through your life, your liberty, and your pursuit of fucking happiness.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair. Rolls off the tongue a little easier. Death row isn't exactly an express checkout, though, and Otis is taken for some handy-dandy prison labor alongside none other than Danny Trejo.
I remember you.
I don't remember you.
Who played Rondo in The Devil's Rejects, a hitman hired by Wydell to capture Otis along with the rest of the Devil's Rejects for Wydell, and successfully did so. Though Wydell still managed to fuck that one up. I don't know what's more surprising, that Rondo does not remember Otis, the fucking big man of The Devil's Rejects, or that Otis actually does remember Rondo, that Small side character, but either way, hey, Danny Trejo's in this movie.
Payback's a bitch, motherfucker.
Or not? Okay, movie, why exactly should I bother watching the rest of these 2 hours?
This man is Winslow Foxworth Coltrane, a.k.a. the Midnight Wolfman, and the half-brother of Otis Driftwood.
Fucking who? Hey guys, check it out. We got this super massive psycho killer over here. World famous, killed a lot of people, real crazy. Related to the Devil's Rejects, Firefly House, all that stuff. Real bad dude. He just never fucking came up at all in the last 2 movies. Happens. Obviously, Virgil Harper, the warden, played by Jeff Daniel Phillips, doesn't much like this turn of events, least of all the ridiculous public support the Devil's Rejects have. And, Winslow, too, I guess. But his wife, Judy, played by Tracy Lay, says it's not his fault. It's not like he wrote this shit. Either way, Otis did escape with his brother, played by Richard Brake. Honestly, I'm okay with this. He's got a great pedigree of horror films behind him, and you might remember him as Portman from the first Doom movie, one of the few entertaining parts about it. Also, he's not just a stand-in for Captain Spaulding. He's clearly a new character who, like Spaulding, does butt heads a bit with Otis over who's in charge, but Winslow's a bit too dim-witted to actually be capable of taking the reins.
Now, I can only assume in this scenario I'm Bogart.
How can you be fucking Bogart when you don't even know the fucking plan?
I'm a lot more fucking Bogart than you are.
You are as delusional as fucking ever.
Fine, fuck whatever, man. Fuck, you can be Bogart. Just what are we gonna do?
Well, I can only assume murder some people, kidnap some people, murder and humiliate, and drop enough F-bombs to take out an entire invading army from an Earth Defense Force game. More important than any of that, no, we've got to catch up with Sherry Moon Zombie as Baby. She's been locked up all this time. Kinda what happens when you're serving over 30 consecutive life sentences, but hey, she spent 10 years incarcerated, which means she's up for parole. Maybe she's getting time off for good behavior.
Since your time of incarceration, you've had 157 violations. The
158.
See, that's only like 1 or 2 a month over 10 years, so she's calmed down drastically. For some reason, though, the officers don't seem to think so and ask Baby if she feels like she's ready for parole. I mean, what exactly would she do if she wasn't incarcerated?
I'd be Snow White in the forest, playing with all the animals. I'd play with the bunnies.
The idea here is that Baby has gone completely insane while locked away, but, I mean, how can you tell? Her answers don't convince the board, who just say, fuck it, try again in 5 years. Well, may as well start this stretch off on the right foot by breaking a guard's nose! Greta, played by Dee Wallace. However, what's that great plan that Otis and that other dude are working on? Well, it involves being set upon by hunters, easily murdering one from off-screen, and then just, cutting the face off the remaining one. Oh, it's good to see they haven't lost their touch. Much like Baby, whom Greta whisks out of her cell for a little surprise party she set up, leaving Baby chained up while 2 burly ladies move in to kill her.
I take it you took care of the situation.
Yeah, I took care of the situation all right.
I like it. Taking advantage of the super zoomed in, disorienting action sequences in modern movies means you can't even tell what the fuck is going on. Now, you'd think the dead bodies and all that might be a bit hard to explain. But don't worry, out of frame, out of mind, and Baby's out of her mind, so when Virgil tries to interrogate her to find out just how she got so banged up, all she does is talk about little kitty cats. No bother, the plot's moving along just fine, as when Virgil returns home, along with Gerard James, played by Kevin Jackson. Evidently they had plans tonight, involving Gerard's significant other Heather, played by Sylvia Jeffries. They aren't exactly going as planned.
What the hell is this, some kind of a sick joke? It's been a long day and it ain't funny.
I don't know.
I see. So they ran into the woods and killed those 2 people, and then in between then and now they found out where the warden lives, broke in, tied up the women, and then just kind of waited there for him to show up because, well, it moved the plot along. Of course, Otis and Extra are here to talk with the warden, so the fact that his work buddy just so happened to be coming by for a playdate means they're only here to be tortured, which doesn't sit too well with the victims, so they intend to leave.
This has got nothing to do with us.
Who obviously didn't take into consideration they're in a Rob Zombie movie. Fortunately, it turns out Otis does have a plan. You see, he realizes that Baby is still incarcerated. Therefore, it's up to the warden to smuggle her out of prison, or he and his brother are gonna kill his friends and family.
What you're asking my husband is completely insane.
I'm completely insane.
You know, I think that's actually the closest a Rob Zombie movie has legit got to my mocking, "I'm doing drugs!" Having a plan is one thing, but they do have a lot of time to kill until the warden's next shift. They could spend the time fucking with their hostages, but suddenly there's a knock at the door.
A fucking clown?
Well, hello!
And no damn idea what he's doing there. They never say if the clown was just showing up at 9 p.m. for the little dinner date that he planned with his friend there, or what, or if it's the wrong house or not. It's just suddenly, hey, there's a clown, just to spice things up. Once the clown, Mr. Baggy Britches, played by Clint Howard, realizes this is less a happy house party and indeed a Rob Zombie movie, he knows this isn't going to go well. However, Otis is nothing if not sporting and makes a deal with him. Make them laugh, and he can go free.
I got these pants from a fellow who was on a diet. It was a seafood diet. He saw food and he ate it. Wah!
Sweet fucking hell, someone has no idea how to read a room. Unsurprisingly, jokes we've all heard over 9,000 times don't result in thunderous applause, and Otis takes aim. But then the clown pees himself, which is just the pinnacle of comedy.
So I'm free to go?
Yeah. Straight to clown heaven.
Really? Really, Rob? That's it? Otis just fucking shoots him anyway. Wildly creative there. Here's an idea. How about Otis lets him go free? I know, it's a horror movie. You like the body count and all. But how exactly is he supposed to convince the rest of his little hostages there that he's actually going to let them live when he promised to let this man live and clearly didn't? Or if you want to kill the clown and maybe make it funny, how about Otis shoots him in the neck for not being funny, and then the gurgling sounds he makes are just so hilarious. Then he lets him go free to walk like 5 feet before he collapses dead. Be creative! Anyway, now that Otis has proven that if he promises that he's going to let you live, he's going to kill you anyway, it's time for Virgil to follow the instructions if he wants his wife and friends to live. Sure, it'll work out, because otherwise this movie can't continue. Virgil does what he's told. Heading to work, he asks one guard to bring in a spare uniform while telling Greta to bring Baby back into his office real quick.
That's all, Sergeant.
Sergeant?
Yeah.
But you forgot my name? You certainly knew my name last week when you had your fucking hands down my pants.
But in case you were worried about all these innocent people being killed, don't. Rob Zombie movie, remember, everyone's a reprehensible piece of shit. Once he gets Baby in there and gets the others to leave, he's pretty sure she's gonna kill him. However, Otis produced a handy-dandy letter for Baby so she knows to play along. It's all part of the plan. Oh well, nothing says she can't also murder Greta on her way out. I mean, you'd think someone would notice, but nothing, and I mean nothing, is gonna get in the way of this plot moving forward.
Thank you.
Looks like Virgil was a good little tin soldier. Did exactly what he was told.
I'm used to people being dumb in horror movies, but wow! In a total shock and surprise, after getting Baby back all safe and sound, Otis turns on some music and then they all just start murdering the fuck out of everybody! Otis kills Gerard, Baby goes for Heather, and Virgil? Okay, Warden, you can stop helping the bad guys anytime now. Thus, every last one of them is murdered brutally. Semi-reminiscent of the motel scene, but that one was more drawn out. This is over and done with much quicker, with one caveat.
Some old Brad next door saw me gut that bitch. Think we should think about rolling out of here soon.
Okay, get the shit. Let's go.
Oh, come on, there's been how much screaming, gunfire, and general fuckery over the last 24 hours, and you intend to convince me that someone witnessing you stabbing a naked woman to death in the street somehow matters? With no time to spare, they take what they feel like and leave the scene of the crime. Now on the run, they have to deal with, trying to find a place to sleep for the night.
Get us a motel room, motherfucker.
Me? I'm the most recognizable of the bunch. I'm the goddamn Midnight Wolfman, motherfucker.
Seriously? No one knows who you are.
Gotta admit, I do appreciate that bit of self-awareness for the film. Since the boys are indecisive, Baby takes it upon herself to get them their room, meaning we have some time for this little gem.
She has gotten wacky.
You are a grouchy motherfucker. She's just happy to be out.
You don't know her like I know her, man.
Well, then you should remember this is kind of how she acted in the first movie. Not so sure what calmed her down so much in The Devil's Rejects, but Baby acting crazy is like Sam Bridges going for a walk. They still manage to get a hotel room, but the whole country is looking for them. Not to worry, as Baby returns from grabbing some soda, she has an idea.
Mexico!
That's not a bad idea. No one's looking for us there.
No, they ain't.
Yeah, but none of us speak Mexican.
Nah, don't worry, it's a movie. The only Spanish movie Mexicans know is gracias por favor and pendejo.
Is that fucking blood?
Yeah, I had a little trouble with the soda machine.
Yeah, most of us just hit the machine and curse a little. So much for the motel then, as they are on the move. Must have been hiding out in El Paso or some shit as they get to Mexico in the blink of an eye. First things first, find a new place to crash. Such as the establishment owned by Carlos, played by Richard Edson. He runs pretty much everything in this tiny hamlet, along with his assistant Sebastian, played by Pancho Moller. He sets them up with their own little suite, which is very sweet. However...
Yeah.
Aquarius, I got something I know you're gonna want to know all about.
Who is this?
This is Carlos.
I know a lot of motherfuckers named Carlos.
Am I allowed to laugh at that? Aquarius, played by Emilio Riviera, is actually the son of Rondo and accepts Carlos' offer to keep them busy for a while until Aquarius can come down and kill them for the low, low price of 10 grand. Easy enough to do, as despite this town being tiny enough that Carlos really is the only motherfucker here that recognizes them, it's still quite the happening spot with quite the party going on, thanks to it being Dia de Muertos. You remember that scene where they're all partying at the brothel? That, except of Sid Haig actually being there, they just have a short time to remember, hey, Sid Haig's not in this movie, but you know what? Captain Spaulding was a badass character. We also take some time to talk about Tiny. Matthew McRory passed away back in 2005, so we never get an explanation as to where Tiny ended up after he walked out of frame. But don't worry, Baby thinks that Sebastian here is kinda Tiny-like. Well, she likes him, and he likes being liked. However, this is right when the other bad guys roll into town. The Black Satans, ready to take out the bad guys.
Fuck, man, why's that fucker pointing up here at me?
I think they're here to kill you.
Fuck, man, I gotta warn Otis.
No, you hide, I tell them.
I've got +5 to stealth checks. I think I can still make that joke for a few more weeks. Thus, the big climactic battle is underway. There's blood, guts, and titties everywhere. Gonna have to trust me on that last one. I'm doing my best to edit around it. The Satans are bad and all, but they have yet to face the wrath of the unstoppable chick with a bow. Man, I hate that when I get a headshot, but they still have a sliver of hit points left. Unfortunately, the luchadores quickly capture the hired help, but on the plus side, Otis takes out Carlos, saving them a ton of money on the deal. Baby is also captured, though, meaning it comes down to Otis to try and bargain with the bad guys.
It's got nothing to do with this shit.
Yes, I do!
God damn it, I'm trying to save your fucking life!
Fuck!
Which could be going better, but I'm just wondering why Otis didn't just mow the motherfuckers down. He doesn't talk it out, he chats it up, he plays with his food. He does manage to draw things out a bit, though, inciting a one-on-one fight with the big guy. No guns, just big fucking machetes. Possibly in honor of Danny Trejo. Either way, sneaky Sebastian slips in and secretly slides the side character's hands out of the hold before getting Baby out of there. However, her disappearance does not go unnoticed, and Sebastian must do something. Jeez, you'd think it'd be harder to hit than that. But now the tables have turned and the three from hell blast away at the remaining bad guys, allowing the worst guys to emerge victorious. With only Aquarius left, we await his last words.
Fuck you. Fuck you!
They always say that.
Rob, Mr. Zombie, if they always say that, it might be a time for a little introspection. And no bother, they won, so it's time to douse the man in gasoline and burn him alive, roasting in pain as the three from hell live on. The end. Kind of funny, considering this is a movie that I'm pretty sure is not going to be getting a sequel. Anyway, that was 3 from Hell. And it's not really horrible, which is actually pretty good for a Rob Zombie flick. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of problems, and it's no question why people were more than a little disappointed that Captain Spaulding was decidedly absent from this adventure, but honestly, there really wasn't much that could have been done about that, which puts Three from Hell in an odd place. It's a highly anticipated sequel, 14 years in the making, that was effectively cobbled together at the last minute. Taking that into account, the movie's not half bad. It's a Rob Zombie horror flick, so you should have an idea what you're in for, and it's got its fair share of blood, brutality, and a heck of a body count. The thing is, after so long waiting for the big sequel to The Devil's Rejects, Three from Hell comes off as an incredibly basic, or dare I say even safe, movie. The kills are there, sure, but the memorable scenes of Three from Hell feel a bit too familiar, less like it's paying homage to what came before and more like it's just a retread of what worked last time. The warden's house stands in for the motel, Mexico stands in for the brothel, and the movie kinda struggles to find its own identity in the process. The best thing I can say is that Richard Brake does a good job being another character for us to get to know over the course of the movie because, well, we don't have much in terms of big bads this time around. Virgil started out almost like Wydell, but he's taken out far too early to have any chance to be a lasting threat to the three. Then Aquarius? Well, he's something at least. Gives the characters someone to kill for the climax. Overall, Three from Hell is okay. That's really the problem, though. It's just okay, and while it could have been worse, just okay is still not a good thing to say about a long-awaited follow-up to what could arguably be said to be Rob Zombie's best work, coming in at 3 from Hell out of 5. The other two being Captain Spaulding and Dr. Satan, I guess. Thank you all for watching. I've been Dr. Shado, and remember, don't hire party clowns at 9 p.m. I can't think of any reason to do that that isn't at least a little creepy.
I'm completely insane.